guys, this is Chris again, coming at you with another video. Quick watch check. I am wearing that Zen 104. And today's video is a little bit different, as I feel like these three, of course I have two out of the three here on my desk, but I have experience with the third luxury watch, the Tudor, of course. As you know, I used to have the Black Bay. But I feel like these three are three entry-level, quote-unquote, luxury watches that most people will be looking at for their first luxury watch. Now, I didn't really include the Rolex because, of course, as you know, the Submariner and the Explorer, Explorer 1, Explorer 2, their prices are getting way up there, way too fast, and they keep steadily climbing, and I feel like they're getting out of reach of most people, probably me included. I hope to one day own an Explorer 1 or Explorer 2. As far as entry-level luxury watches, I feel like these three, the Breitling Super Ocean Heritage 2 and the Tudor Black Bay and the Omega Seamaster are three that are attainable for most people with a little bit of saving, and you can actually go to the AD authorized dealer and pick them up, or you can buy them used. Now, what I would recommend, I can't really recommend either way all the way around. I'll recommend what I feel like is the best option because I've had experience with all three, but that is also subjective because, as you know, everybody has different taste. So one person might like the aspects of one watch, like say the Breitling Super Ocean Heritage more than the Omega, like I like the Omega more than the Breitling. Or somebody might like the vintage aspect of the Tudor more than the Breitling, or vice versa. So, like I said, that's all subjective. You can just take my opinion with a grain of salt, but like I said, I've had experience with all three of these watches, and these all three are great first buys for somebody. And like I said, I feel like these are the perfect alternative to a Rolex Submariner or a Explorer, Explorer 2, you know. Like I said, these usually come in right around the same price range, and a lot of people prefer divers. And as you know, I also have experience with the Tudor, the Black Bay 36. Hope to get a 41 in at some point in the channel. If somebody wants to send one in for review, let me know. And I also hope to get experience with the new Black Bay 58, the smaller one. So I'm hoping if somebody wants to send one of those in, let me check out. That would be pretty cool. But like I said, I feel like all three of these watches are perfect entry level for somebody in the $4,000 to $5,000 price range. And like I said, they're attainable. You can go to the AD, pick them up, or you can pick them up used. As you know, the value of Omega, Breitling, and Tudor, they kind of tank in the secondary market. But a lot of people aren't really looking for that for the first luxury watch. They're looking for something that's, they want that experience. At least I feel like they want that experience. You know, they go in the AD, they put down their hard-earned money, and they want that full-on experience, which I feel like that's the presentation and all that is part of the experience as well on each of these. And I'll go over the presentation of course, like I said, I have the Breitling and the Omega here on hand, and if you go back in my older videos, you'll look up and see that I have the experience with the Tudor Black Bay also, which I feel like, as far as the experience on all three of these, I feel like the Omega is probably the best presentation among all, and the most. I feel like the Omega is the highest, not really value, but the highest aesthetically, as far as aesthetically pleasing and most versatile watch out of all three of them, I feel like. And if I had to go over and do it all again, I would probably just get the Omega. And I'm possibly thinking about selling the Breitling, guys, so I'll leave my email down there if you guys want. Let me know. Email me an offer on the Breitling. Let me know. And like I said, you can get these at the AD. You can buy these used. Probably one of the better way to go is used, but like I said, if you're looking for that overall experience, that first luxury experience, you can't beat the experience of going to the AD. Putting down your savings, you know, your hard-earned cash. Like I said, that you can't beat that experience as far as, you know, just point and click and ordering online, which unfortunately online I believe is the way that a lot of these places are going in the future. We won't be able to go to an AD probably in the next 10 years or so. But online, like I said, point, click, and order. But that experience, if you can, try to go to the AD, get that. And in most of these, you can actually work deals on. Like these two here, I actually got like at least 20% off on both of them a piece. So you can work deals with the ADs. Don't feel like you have to pay that retail price of that $5,000 or more, whatever it is. But anyways, guys, we'll go over to the tabletop and show you the watches. Of course, as I mentioned, presentation is also a important factor in buying your first watch. It's not really an important factor, but it's part of the experience of buying your first watch, I feel like. And for the first time buyer, Omega really does it really well as far as the luxury. It's outside the box, nothing special. But as far as the finishing on the box, fit and finishing, uses real wood. This is a really killer presentation to get your watch in. Like I said, overall presentation, I give this an 8, 9 out of 10. Comes with your manual, and of course your warranty cards, international warranty cards and all that. And again, like I said, presentation, I feel like Omega does it really well. You can't really beat this box. And on to the Breitling. Here's the Breitling presentation. Overall, pretty nice box. Just to show you guys what it looks like, what all it comes with. Comes in this leather style travel case almost. Pretty nice. You fit your watch in there. Like I said, if you want to go traveling, take it in there. These warranty cards are really cool. These electronic warranty cards. I won't show too much of the information, but these warranty cards, electronics, are pretty cool. You can take these pretty much any Breitling authorized dealer and they will authenticate that for you. Of course, more of the information, manual, all that stuff, and then the Breitling hang tag that all the Breitlings come with. But like I said, overall, Breitling does a pretty good job for a first presentation, for first luxury watch. But the Tudor, as far as I know, like I said, if you go back in my old unboxing video, the Tudors had come with the like a black lacquer box, which was really nice. I don't know if they still do that or not. And they are really similar presentation to this and the Omega, but like I said, overall I feel like the Omega has the best presentation for a first time luxury watch buyer out of all three of these. I feel like, at least in my opinion, the Omega would win me over if that were part of the selling point on the watches, which, as we know, the watches themselves are the selling point. But like I said, you can't beat a really good presentation. That kind of adds to the allure of the Omega, I feel like. But anyways, on to the watches. And here are the watches in question. Like I said, except for the Tudor, I have 2 out of the 3 here in person as far as the first, luxury watch you can get. But the Omega, this Seamaster here, is one of the, unfortunately this was just discontinued this year, this version. This is the non-wave dial version. They have other iterations. Of course, they have the newer wave dial that everybody loves. I just went with this one because I feel like I said, this is a little more versatile version of the Seamaster. This is kind of a classic kind of look, clean design. And of course, the Omega uses a modified by Omega and a movement, so it does not include the in-house. You would think you would expect an in-house movement at that price point, but as we know, Omega is part of the Swatch Group, which they have the ETA movement, so they have the rights to use the ETA movement. And I've worn this day in, day out, and this has been one of my daily wears for the last, I think I've owned it about 6-7 months now. And this is really reliable movement. Cannot knock the movement at all. As far as daily wear, like I said, I love this. This 41 millimeters with 20 millimeter lugs, which makes this perfect strap, for straps and all that, which I have not taken the bracelet off. This is one of the most comfortable bracelets I have ever had on a watch, and this watch honestly wears like it's not even there. The only negative I can see on this watch, as I mentioned before, is this monstrosity of a helium escape valve. If Omega would take that off their Seamasters, this would be the perfect watch, I feel like. Like I said, that blue lacquer dial just looks really killer. This also comes in black, of course. And then the newer wave dial versions, they have like a gray, which actually kind of looks kind of cool, kind of killer. Gray with like almost like white waves in the dial, etched into the dial. So that's pretty cool. One thing that got me into the Omega, of course, as I mentioned, I always grew up watching James Bond. That was one draw into Omega, that their marketing is really sweet. Like I said, you can't beat their marketing. Just one of the reasons I think that draws a lot of people in as their first watch choice, first luxury watch choice, is the marketing, especially from the Bond movies. A lot of the Bond characters have worn them, especially since Pierce Brosnan. That's the Bond I grew up with. And then as far as the Breitling, this is the Super Ocean Heritage 2, the 44mm version. This comes in 42mm, 44mm, and 46mm. So it does have a version for pretty much just about everybody out there as far as different wrist sizes are concerned. And don't feel like it looks like a big watch, because it's really not a big watch. It wears really well. Even this 44mm, as you've seen on my wrist before, wears really well. It doesn't really wear like a 44mm. This does come in this blue dial. It comes in a black dial. I believe there's a white dial and a like a copper kind of dial, almost like a brown dial, which is pretty cool. Ceramic bezel, just like on the Omega. Now this one also does not have an in-house movement. This does have a modified Tudor movement by Breitling. They share the movements. The one thing that the Black Bay does have over this and this Omega is the fact that the new Black Bay 58 does have the in-house movement. Now the Black Bay that I had, the Rose, was the, of course, modified ETA by Tudor. And if you want that Tudor, that vintage vibe, of course, as you know, this Breitling here is a vintage throwback from 1957, I believe it was. They had their released this diver. And Breitling is, of course, more known for their aeronautical watches like the Navitimer and all that. I hope to get a Navitimer in the collection at some point. But they are more known for their aeronautical theme watches than they are for their dive watches. But I feel like this is, like I said, a perfect entry-level piece for somebody wanting to get into a luxury watch game. And it's both of these and the Tudor Black Bay, of course, are attainable by most people. Just a little bit of saving, all it takes. I mean, as long as you start saving, you can attain these pieces. Like I said, they're not like the Rolex where they're hard to get, or you have to be put on a wait list or any of that. Now the Tudor may be a little bit harder to get them of the option of the three, because Tudor is Rolex's sister brand, and they are really popular right now. And I don't know that you can, don't quote me on that. I had bought my Tudor back in the day at Gray Market, so don't quote me on whether you can get a discount on the AD or not. Let me know down in the comments, guys, if you can get the Tudor at a discount. But the Tudor is the most popular of the three as of right now, I feel like, because of the Rolex shortage, and it is Rolex's sister company. So if you want to go with that vintage vibe, that vintage look, the Breitling, you can't really beat that. The Breitling, I feel like, or the Tudor Black Bay, you can't really beat either one of those. But the Breitling, I feel like, of the three is the more flashy. This is probably the flashiest piece that I really own, just because that mesh bracelet. That mesh bracelet wears really comfortable. And of the three, I feel like the Omega is probably the most under the radar. Unless you see what on the dial it is, you don't really know what it is. But the Breitling does draw a little more attention, just because the the dial and the mesh bracelet and all that, so it does draw a little more attention. The Tudor did, of course, a lot of people know Tudor due to its marketing. But overall, like I said, I just prefer to wear the Omega just because of the wearability of it and the lightness of it. I've been contemplating selling this, like I said, but I'm not 100% sure. But like I said, of the three, I feel like the Omega is the best overall, at least for me. Like I said, you guys can draw your own conclusions. Some people might like the vintage vibe of the Tudor, which I can't say as I blame them. Like I said, I really want to try Black Bay 58 out. Just that different size. It's a little smaller than the old one, which is really cool. And like I said, the Breitling is a little more flashy. So if you like a little more flash, you want a little more flash for your first watch, that's cool, that's fine. Go for the Breitling. But if you want something a little more under the radar, a great everyday piece, this goes with just about everything you wear. You can dress it up or you can dress it down. I would definitely suggest the Omega. And the Tudor, honestly, is really versatile as well. Unless you get like the black and gold version, it's a little bit more flashy compared to the Breitling, but overall the Tudor is actually a little more under the radar as well. But like I said, I just wanted to show you guys like a side by side what they look like. and what my opinion on these three watches were. Like I said, I unfortunately don't have a Tudor on me right now, but I do have experience with it, so I can speak of the experience that I had with it. And these two side by side, like I said, completely different watches, but whatever you go for, you can't really go wrong with either of the three. But like I said, if you want the more of a versatile piece, under the radar piece, go for the Omega. If you want something a little more on the flashy side, the Breitling is, like I said, this is the most flashy piece that I own, but the Breitling would be the way to go. Or if you want more of a vintage style theme, go for the Tudor. And the Tudor, you can't really go wrong with that, especially with the in-house movement. Like I said, neither of these have the in-house movement, which that is what the Tudor does win over on these two, especially for the price. Like I said, that you would expect an in-house movement. You would think at the price range these are at, the $4,000 to $5,000 price range. And as far as value, don't go in thinking that you're gonna gain money on these or make a bunch of money. Don't collect watches going into it for value. Buy what you really like, what calls to you. This has just been a little side by side. Okay guys, basically just to summarize the video, sorry for the long-winded video this time. It ran a little longer than it usually runs, but I feel like this was a topic that needed to be addressed. Like I said, I feel like these three watches, the Tudor Black Bay, the Omega Seamaster, the Breitling Super Ocean Heritage, and any one of their iterations are three watches that most people will look at least those were the first three that I looked at whenever I bought my first luxury watch, when I was buying the Tudor, the Black Bay that is. And like I said, if I had to go over and do it all over again, I would probably buy the Omega first. That's just personal opinion, personal taste. Like I said, that's all subjective on what you want, what you like. Don't let me sway you one way or the other. If you want the Breitling or if you want the Tudor, go buy the Tudor. Like I said, you can't really go wrong with either of those. That's just, like I said, the personal experience that I had. And I wanted to show you guys what all of them look like together, or, you know, the experience that I had with all three of them. And some honorable mentions that other people may look into are Longines. I think I'm pronouncing that right, which I have no experience with that, so I couldn't really add that into the video, but that may be another watch that somebody's looking at is Longines. And also, for another good first watch, Tag Heuer. Even though it does get a lot of hate, Tag Heuer is another good option for a first entry-level luxury watch. You can't really go wrong with either of those. And I know Bremont is a loved or hated brand, which I actually am looking into Bremont. I'm actually looking at possibly adding a Supermarine, excuse me, sorry. Had a little slip there, I was talking about the Breitling. But I am looking at possibly adding a white dial Supermarine to the collection at some point, just because I feel like they add a lot of value at that price point, that entry-level price point. And of course, Rolex still always gets an honorable mention, but like I said, if you don't want to wait, now if the Rolex is what you really, really want, then save your money and wait for the Rolex. Like I said, get what you want, guys. Don't let somebody sway you into what you want to get. This has just been a fun little video of me showing you my experience on what I've got, you know, the three different luxury watches that I've had. Of course, you know, I've had a little bit higher end with Zenith and all that. Like I said, this is just my experience of the three of what I had and what I would go back and do. Like I said, I would personally go back and buy Omega if I can go over and do it all again. Now, I am looking at possibly a Pepsi GMT Tudor at some point. Now, how soon? I don't know. It might be another year, it might be 2 years, it might even be 6 months. You never know. But like I said, that's just my experience with all of those three brands, and you can't really go wrong with either one. Like I said, I'll leave you guys to form your own opinions on which ones you want. Let me know down in the comments down below. Comment what your first entry-level luxury watch was or is. What would you go back and do differently? Have you had experience with any of these three or any other brands that you would recommend for a first entry-level luxury watch? Alright guys, peace.